Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. NYCFC Views.
Collins approaches the shot, and New York City wins the first MLS Cup on their first try, and they're going crazy. Tiene tiro y gol! Gol! New York City es el campeón de Major League Soccer.
The sickest New York City FC podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Glenn Crooks. There's Roberto Abramowitz, and we got the big game coming out tomorrow. So, featuring the last two MLS players of the match day, if I have that worded all correctly. First, it was Hannes Wolf, hat trick against Columbus, and then Julian Hall for the Red Bulls. He gets a hat trick. And, so the hat trick boys are around for this one, so they'll be part of the feature here. And it's the Red Bull New York City match, Hudson River Derby, New York Derby. I don't know what everybody calls it these days.
Hudson River Derby.
I like
Derby.
it that way. Yeah, I like it that way. Well, yeah, some say Derby. I don't argue with Derby. I say Derby, you say Derby, and I say football, you say soccer. We whatever, it's all the same.
I'm an American. What can I tell you?
Well, I am too. What can I tell you? By the way, big news. So, do you get Sports Illustrated? Do you subscribe?
Not anymore. Not anymore. It's not the same. It's not the same publication.
Yeah. Okay. It's not the same. It still has great writers, and I know some writers were laid off a while back, and so some have been critical of me because I didn't end my subscription because of that. And some of them were friends of ours. I understand that, but if I look back in history, we've 400 people were axed at Sirius XMFC, including some we know very well. Not that long ago, we still listen to Sirius, right? So I think I'm okay. But it's a World Cup. It's all World Cup. It's just a World Cup edition, and they have 48 covers. It's pretty cool. Here's Norway. They have 48 covers within the cover I have is Mexico. I don't know how I got Mexico. I didn't get the U.S. I got Mexico. So, but they're all in there, and I haven't read it yet. I just got it out of the mail recently. So there you go. There you go. World Cup. But before the World Cup, we still got a couple of more games. Well, New York City has 3. The Red Bulls only have 2 because they were eliminated in the U.S. Open Cup by New York City by the score of 3-1. Remember that game, Roberto?
I sure do. We were there.
We were there, and there were, well, let's just say a boatload of corner kick goals. Is that as accurate as I could probably put it? So,
yes.
All right, Pascal Janssen, part of my pregame briefing. Let's just get to this real quickly as we talk about how susceptible the Red Bulls were on the corner balls back in, just a little over 2 weeks ago. It's a fond memory, and I remember you saying you had spotted something. It'll be interesting to see what you come up with your first corner kick on Saturday.
The one thing is that Red Bull will be prepared more than ever, I assume, because getting done with 3 identical corner kicks is something that must hurt. So they'll have a plan in place, and obviously we'll have our own plans in place as well in order to see if we can find other weak spots.
Maybe go to the back post this time. Maybe they'll have that front post crowded.
Who knows?
3 identical goals. Pretty amazing. I mean, when you say identical, you couldn't.
They were.
And it looked like Martins was celebrating the first goal as if it were his, but that was Kai Truin that scored it, just to make sure we clarify. But I'm glad Martins was so happy for him. That was his first goal for the club. Gustavo gets his first for the club, and Martins gets his second, but his first with his head after many, many chances. So that was a feel-good game, Roberto.
Without a doubt. And they played well. They scored first, got tied up, and then all of a sudden, another couple of header goals off corner kicks. And the funny thing is that they have no corner kick goals in MLS, but they got 3 in one game against the Red Bulls in the U.S. Open Cup.
And the Red Bulls, those are the first, second, and third goals they've conceded on set pieces this year. The only set pieces they've conceded were in that game. So, yeah, a couple of wild things there. And I'm telling you that there's no guarantee New York City will get a corner kick. We figured that they will, because most of the time you get corner kicks in games. I'm real interested to see where they put that first one. Do they play it short? Do they go to the back post? Do they play one of those Anton Tinnerholms near the top of the area? I don't know who's. Yeah.
No, what I do.
Well, they've done that.
I know they do, but what I would do, I take the John Madden. I learned this from the John Madden School of Coaching. Don't stop what you're doing until the other team can prove that they can stop you.
All right. What did you think about? So you scored the 3 goals on corner kicks against the Red Bulls. Your very next game is against DC United, and the first corner kick you take, you play it short. I was dumbfounded. I don't know.
I was surprised too.
So you remember that, right? I was like, oh, come on, man! Maxi just put it on a platter for those 3. Why not just? So I had the same thinking, even though it was a different team. Why would you not just attack it again? I'm with you, man. So
I thought you asked Pascal that, and I was waiting for the video.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. That was just my own little thing. No,
I thought you were setting it up. It was a brilliant setup.
No, I was just telling him he should go to the back post just for just for variety's sake. But I think I like the John Madden way that you that you described. And well, it's you have to score off of set pieces. And let's face it, New York City in recent years, that's not necessarily been the case, especially dead balls outside of the area. And in particular. So, anytime they can, cash in on something like that, it's a good moment. And they celebrated it as well.
Yeah. So far this season, New York City has 23 goals. 18 from open play, 2 from free kicks, consecutive games by Nico Fernandez Mercado, and 1 on a set piece that wasn't a free kick, and 2 on penalties. So that's the way their
pretty good.
Expected goals is 17-6, and they got 23 goals. So they're overachieving, which I guess is surprising considering the fact that Alonso Martinez hasn't played.
So it's 3 set piece goals out of how many goals that they scored?
23 goals, 2 free kicks, 1 set piece, 2 penalty kicks.
No, just how many set piece goals out of the total and then the total number of goals? Because I'm trying to figure out what the percentage is, which I don't even know about. I don't know how to do that.
Do you want to count penalty kicks as set piece goals?
No, there's not.
Okay, so it's 3 then.
Okay. I don't think you count penalties. I've never done that. I mean, it's a dead ball, so but it's not a set piece goal.
No, I haven't, but I just don't know which way you want to go. So
what percentage is 3? So don't count the penalties. What's if you take the penalties out? 3 set piece goals out of how many goals? Less than 2 penalties.
Out of 23.
So what's that? That's 20%.
Oh, minus the 2 penalties, and it's out of 21.
Okay.
So
3 out of 21.
it's 7 times 3 is 21. So whatever that means.
So it's 1/7 of what percentage? I don't know how to figure out percentage.
I forgot already.
I've got my iPhone set out to this computer, to the computer area or the.
Come on, guys, help us out here. Math isn't strong for us.
I just want to know what percentage.
We do believe that the higher number is better than the lower number when you're scoring. We believe that.
Yeah, the reason I want to figure out the percentage is because. When you look at the top teams in the world, 25 to 30% of their goals are off of set pieces, or just look at leagues. You could look at top college leagues, top professional leagues. It's all in that 25 to 30 range, and So
look, 10% is 2.1.
Okay, so it's about 15%.
There we go. Thank you, KP. KP has done math for us.
So that 14.28% of their 21 goals, we're not including the penalties. 2 penalties have been scored off of set pieces. So that needs to be higher.
Yeah.
From a standpoint of what I've looked at with the way it goes across the globe. That's my feeling.
But on the other hand, so they already have 2 set piece goals this year. Last year, I don't believe they had any.
No, that's good. That's much better. Yeah.
Right. The year before that, they had 2, one by Santi, one by Hannes Wolf, and then they went something like 75 games without a goal. So the 2 that they have, and plus Fernandez Mercado has put a couple of really good shots on frame from set pieces that goalies have made really good saves. So it's not, things are getting better in that department.
Right.
He's a good dead ball striker.
Yeah. I'll give him that. I'm with you on that. Tavon Gray played with Cedar Stars at about 11 years old, playing against the Red Bulls. Then he joined New York City FC, was playing against the Red Bulls. So he enjoys this rivalry. Here he is today.
Like I said, for me personally, it's always personal. So especially against them, I think I definitely take that one to heart. I'm born and raised in New York, so I've grown up playing against them all the time. So to becoming a pro and doing the same thing, so I definitely carry that one for sure on my shoulders.
Yep, everybody admits it's a different kind of week.
Yep.
Love the game. And
his brother, by the way, played, and his father was coaching.
Yeah. And one thing he told me today, it's very interesting, is that one of the reasons Red Bulls wanted both of them to come, and this is before New York City was born. So, but it was just a difficult drive for the family, and the parents just couldn't make it work. So that's a reason perhaps that he didn't join the Red Bull group, and who knows what would have happened in his career or what would have happened next. So it's a very interesting part of the story that he was pursued by them, and they chose not to because it was impossible for them.
Well, the thing is that so at the same time that Tavon and his brother were playing at Cedar Stars, Eddie was playing at Cedar Stars as well. So, I mean, that drive, especially coming back into New York, was just horrific because crossing the George Washington Bridge, and he had to do the same thing because he had to get to the Bronx. I was right across the bridge in Washington Heights, where I still am. But I mean, it was always really tough. And so to be able to go even further out, to be able to play for the Red Bulls, I fully understand why they didn't want to do that. I mean, it was a pain. Yeah.
So didn't happen. He played in New York City. He's got an MLS Cup. I had never heard this one before. Maybe you had. And of course, if anybody from Red Bull New York is watching, they're not going to find this amusing at all. But do you know why Red Bull is only available in a can?
Oh, my goodness.
Because they don't have any cups. I heard that one today for the first time ever. I thought, that's pretty clever. And I'm sure it's like an old one. But anyway, that's...
they do have a shield. Actually, they got two.
They do what now?
They have a shield. I said they've got two.
Okay. Cup. MLS Cup.
I get it. I know the joke. I know the joke. I heard it. It's interesting.
Okay. Anyway. Thank you, John.
Enzo always wearing his
that was
NYC
on.
stuff.
Thank you. That was my joke. I actually got a nice reaction. So there you go. Anybody from Red Bull New York, you could take it. Look, it's just almost like me getting upset about short jokes. It just shouldn't happen. You're going to get the cup jokes until you win a cup. That's the
that's the best way to shut somebody up. Win the cup.
I can't hear you, Roberto. I got to do this. I'm going to dig out and then come back in.
Every time. Switch computers. Every single time. Yeah. So, it's always going to be an interesting rivalry with the Red Bulls, but lately,
Sorry about that.
There you go. Lately, New York City has gotten the best of them. swept them last year. And, after they lost New York City, after they lost in the playoffs to them, which really hurt. And so now finally this year, they finally beat them in an elimination game. So that is a good thing for New York City. And so now we'll see what happens as they go at them again, this time for the first time in the regular season.
Yeah. Well, it's
been
been
KP with a good one.
What now?
Go to KP in the comments.
I'm trying. I use this platform for like 2 other things I do, and it never cuts out. I don't know what the hell is going on, but here he is. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
that's coming soon. But I'm going to miss the baseball. You know what I'm going to miss more than anything is the players, and especially the assistant coaches for the opponent, and sometimes the head coaches, if you're Dean Smith, coming out to inspect the where the infield grass is laid. And Citi Field has had some pretty major problems this year with loose turf. I mean, Ashley Westwood, he actually pulled up some of the turf and just, he didn't like lift it in the air, but he pulled it up where you could see it. And Dean Smith came over and was just shaking his head. And what are you going to do? This is what it is, but not for much longer.
No. And but my favorite part isn't when they're going through the turf, the infield. My favorite part is when they start walking off the width of the field.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I love that. I love it. It's so in their heads. It's absolutely in their heads. And that's why I keep on telling Brad Sims, first game of the year, make the field 110 by 70 and say, oh, this is the way we're going to keep the field. Now, we know they're not, but they should do that because it would send everybody in a tizzy.
Yep. So there you have it. I want to play one thing here just so that I, before I drop out again, and go into the most recent game, which was really another professional performance. 3-0 against Columbus at home, and then 1-0 on the road against Charlotte, where now they've won 3 matches in a row in New York City at Charlotte when they had never won there before. That's including the 2 playoff games last year. So that's something, Roberto, as well. The thing I want to play here, and I know I told you about this. I'm not sure if you saw it when it happened, but it was before the game, well before the game, where Pascal Janssen and Andres Pereira made their way to a certain part of the field. I think it's in this clip I'm playing. So I talked to Pascal Janssen about this today because Pereira suffered that very serious injury in Game 3 last year, and this is his first game coming back. So let's see if this plays. I'd like to go over a moment with you as I was observing from the radio booth before the game. It was a couple of hours before the match, maybe, and I saw you. We always see Matt Freese come out and do his thing, and then I saw you and Andres walking, and about halfway I thought, wow, they're going out to the spot where he was injured in Game 3 last year. You spent a couple of moments with him there, then arm around him as you walk back to the locker room. Can you share how that came about? Was that you suggesting it? Did he want to do it?
It's interesting that you spotted us. I didn't know you saw this. No, obviously it's been a very interesting experience for Pepe, what happened in game number 3. Pepe was in a good shape, playing really, really well for us, and obviously he got injured in that game severely, cost him a lot of months out of the game. The things that we went over before the game is the mental preparation of the game against Charlotte, because that means you're going to go back to that stadium and where it all happened. So we talked about making sure that you visualize this also before you're even there. Once you get to the stadium, what does it feel like? Once you go to the dressing room, what does it feel like? If you're going to be subbed on, what does that feel like? These type of moments. So we went through a few scenarios. Like I always do, I try to take care of my players to the best I can. And normally I don't go out on the pitch before the game, but this is a moment I had to be there with Pepe. And we walked straight over to that place where it happened and had a chat and went through some scenarios, walked back, and he knew and he knows he has my support always. So that was an important moment for me to be on pitch with Pepe.
I thought it was a very nice moment. I did mention it on commentary, and someone wrote to me later saying that it's a tradition. Race drivers, if they get into an accident, they go back and walk the track and get to that spot to see where it occurred. So it's almost a visualization exercise.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the things I knew as well. Formula One is one of the sports I follow with a lot of interest. These are things that you pick up along the way if you show the interest in how athletes deal with setbacks.
All right. So I was particularly interested in the Formula One idea that he's already studied Formula One, and then he also took it to another level to talk about how their preparation is something that he's looked closely at, because that's the way he feels. He feels that that's one of his traits, is being as prepared as possible. And but how about that? I just, it really touched me, I have to say, and I wasn't reluctant to ask anybody about it, because it was a moment for them, but it wasn't private. There were, as you could see, there were people on the field when they were going to do it. So I felt it was okay to bring it up. And obviously Pascal wanted to express, why he did it.
And the interesting part of all of this, and we've talked about this before, the importance of coaches understanding the psychology of all of this. And it's not about X's and O's anymore, and just about X's and O's. It's about the importance of psychology and how you get the best out of your players, and how you treat them. So many different things. And it's not just about just treating players well, or treating them the same, or treating them differently. It's the level of psychology that you really have to go through to penetrate in that moment, and being able to get the best out of them. And so what he did, that was just straight psychology, straight out. And, a lot, and I talked about this about the NBA.
But it's also emotional caring. I mean,
but that's psychology too.
Well, it's emotional intelligence. I'm not sure what falls under, but go ahead. I don't mean to dispute what you're saying. I'm just saying you're saying it almost as a out of a book, when I think it's more than that.
But I'm not trying to say that it's out of the book. I'm saying that the best coaches understand their players and understand the psychology and what motivates them. And in the old days, and you and I are old, and in the old days, it used to be, the sergeant, the drill sergeant. That was the type of coach, that you had. Bud Grant of the Vikings, Bill Parcells of the Giants, right? It's my way or the highway. And everybody at that point in sports thought that was the best way to be able to manage a team. But it turns out it's not always the best way to manage a team. And we've learned and we evolve, and the psychology of being able to understand your players and being able to motivate them and getting the best out of them. And it isn't just by yelling or threatening. It's so much more. It's so much more involved. And so many coaches now have experts at X's and Y's of how to play the game, and that they take care, obviously, of the overall, but especially of the psychology of being able to motivate your players and get them into the right frame of mind to be able to succeed. And you just see it evolve and get better. And that's a key moment. And what Pascal did there with Andres Perea was exactly that. And I find it brilliant.
Yeah, the visualization part of it is intriguing to me, which gives me a chance to, I've written a second book, Roberto.
Wow, really?
But in the first book, I have a lot of sports psychology and culture, but in almost every one of these interviews, and it's with coaches or different experts in the field, it always comes up. There's some sort of psychological aspect that seems to come up, whether it's motivation or whether it's something similar to what Pascal did. Now, I want to play something. I just dropped this in. So do you know who the interim coach is at Orlando City? Can you name him?
No.
Okay. Well, I only could name him because we've been in contact for about a year about coming on the program, SiriusXM-FC's The Coaching Academy that I host. His name is Martin Perelman. They have won 4 of their last 6, including that down 3-0 at New Stadium and coming back to beat Inter Miami 4-3. But the thing I wanted to he has a degree in sports psychology. So just listen, and there's a visualization component. I want you to hear this because I know you'll like this now, Roberto, based on everything you just said. So this is Martin Perelman. He was my guest this week. If you have SiriusXM, this is on the app. Just search the Coaching Academy. It won't run on the air anymore. You can only follow it on the app. Here's Martin. I hear a lot of coaches now, more so than ever before, maybe within the last 3 or 4 years, talk about performance breathing or breathing. Can you give a more specific example of what, again, I'm playing for you? How are you utilizing that with me? Is that something I'm doing in my room? Am I doing it on the training pitch?
No, we do it. We can do it individually or collectively. Usually once a week, they go with Andrea and they do it all together. Because before you visualize, you need to learn to breathe, to control your breath. Once you are able to control your breath, you are able to control your muscle tone. Before the visualization, you have like it calls imagination practice. Like you imagine something like in your mind, simple. And then you can go to visualization, because the concept of the visualization is that you create an image or a sequence in your mind that you can see it, but it's not happening. It's only happening in your mind. But for your mind, she doesn't difference between real fact and a fact that you just imagine.
So I don't know if you caught that, but I've never heard it put this way. I think this is fascinating to me. So your brain, when you visualize scoring a goal, Roberto, right? You're the forward and you're visualizing the ball coming across and heading it into the back of the net. When it happens in the game, when that moment happens in the game, your brain sees both of those things as the same. Hence, he talked about that he doesn't want his players really to think when they're playing, especially in front of the goal. And it's interesting because Hannes Wolf actually referred to that after scoring the hat trick, that he and he speaks to his father, apparently. I'm not sure if it's after every game, but they kind of talked about how he overthinks moments. And in that game, he just put it in the back of the net and, he got himself into good spots, but he wasn't thinking about it. But I just think that this kind of a part of the game, and you're right, it has to be studied, it has to be catered to. Some coaches will, some won't, some will go to a further extent. By the way, he's got 2 sports psychologists that work with him and the team, so that gives you an idea of how important he thinks it is.
I agree. And the Hannes Wolf thing, what were we talking about 2 years ago with Hannes Wolf? What was his problem? His problem was that he wasn't pulling the trigger. He had the shot, and then he would always make that additional move. He would try to get a better shot and then not get a shot at all or get a really bad shot. And we always talked about, hey, he's got to really start just hitting the ball when he gets a chance. And that was it. He said what was the problem. He was overthinking about it. And sometimes just don't think, just act. And that's what he did with the hat trick that he scored.
Yeah, it's
he actually scored a 4th goal, but he was cheating on one of them. So
yeah, he was a little. That would have been a first half hat trick, which that doesn't happen too often. All right, so in this most recent game, Nico Fernandez-Mercado gets the game winner, gets his 9th goal of the year, which ties him now with Julian Hall, among others. His hat trick gave him 9, and Fernandez-Mercado, the build up to the goal was fantastic. But oh my God, Christian Kalina, who was probably the man of the match in Charlotte's win in New York earlier, 2-1. Now, I don't know. I'm just not sure how he missed it. I don't know what he was thinking.
He dove over the ball. It was weird. It caught him. It caught him wrong-footed, and the way he dove, it just went right underneath him. It was shocking that ball went through.
Yeah. I did see Nico at training today with Max. He just while they were leaving, and and they chuckled about it. It's just. But here's the thing. Here's the thing I'll always say. Somebody told me this a long time ago, and it's so true. if you put it on goal, and that's why, excuse me, put it on frame. If you put it on goal, it's got a chance.
Yeah.
It's got a chance. Anything can happen. And if there was ever more proof than because he didn't hit it well, but he got it on goal and he kept it low too. So.
Right, or the goalie makes a save, but he leaves a juicy rebound. I mean, that happens. There's all things. But if you put it wide, it ain't going to happen. If you put it on goal, it has half a chance.
So his 4th career goal against Charlotte for Nico, and
he likes playing them.
Yeah, over the last 3 games. So including that brace in the playoffs last year, which remains the only brace in a playoff game in New York City Football Club history. I believe I got that right. That's what the stat was last year. So I don't think it's changed.
It has not changed.
Okay. Let's see. Charlotte is now winless in their last 5. It's not going well. Well. How about, so we're talking about goal scorers. Hugo Kuipers scored in his 9th straight game. He's got 12 goals. Let me double check this. He's got 12 goals.
Yes, he does.
In 9 games. So he's only the 9 games he scored in consecutively are the ones he's played in. He's been injured otherwise. Then it's Messi, Musa with 11, and then it's Nico along with Hall, Red Bull. Marcus Invarson, he's turning it on for San Diego. He's got 9. Preston Judd has 9. Martino Hayda from Orlando has 9, and Sam Surge is injured, but he's got 9 in 7 games. But he hasn't played recently because of injury. So that's your golden boot race.
It's pretty good. It's gonna be fun the rest of the way. The interesting thing with Chicago and Hugo Kuipers is that the rumors don't die down that Robert Lewandowski is leaving Barcelona at the end of the season, and the Fire are really interested in signing him. How do you bench somebody who's got 9 goals in 12 games and has scored in 9 games in a row? How do you willingly replace somebody like that? I mean, I understand why you want to bring Lewandowski in. He's a fantastic goal scorer. There is a huge Polish population in Chicago. He will sell tickets. I get it. How do you play them together? Do you play a 4-4-2? Do you play a 4-4-1-1? I mean, what do? You don't want to break that up.
No, Kuipers is the fox in the box, man. You're not putting him underneath Lewandowski. Not happening. So, we'll see how that all goes. Maybe, the McDonald's store that's opening up in the new stadium, will somehow Lewandowski, maybe they could sneak in a few extra Big Macs and, he'll be a little, unfit, can only come in the last 30 minutes or something.
When we go there, I'm calling that place, welcome to the Big Mac.
The Big Mac. Hey, the best field name now is, and it's terrible because it's not terrible because it's crazy. They were lower.com field and now they're like, we have nice grass field. What's the product?
It's Scott's something or other.
No, Scott, not Scott's, is it?
It's Scott's. Yeah, it's Scott's.
Okay.
But I don't, let me see if I can find
ScottsFertilizer.com? No. No, Miracle Grow. That's what it is. It's Miracle Grow.
No, hold on.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Scott's Miracle Grow Field. I don't know.
So Scott's Miracle Grow. Okay.
There's not a .com in there. Is there a .com or an HTTP:// ahead of it?
I'm looking at it.
I'm just
It's
teasing.
Scott's Miracle Grow Field.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I hope they're paying them a lot of money. I hope they're paying a lot of money.
There you go.
Yep.
I like lower.com field. It was easier to say.
Much easier to say. So FC Cincinnati 3, Inter Miami 5. Just looking at some other games here. Messi's, he leads the league in goal contributions, on his way to another MVP. That'll be 3 straight, and rightly so.
Kuipers, that isn't over. Kuipers keeps on scoring over a goal a game. And it's going to be hard to just say, hey, we're just giving this to Messi.
Well, he's got 16 goal contributions to – does Kuipers have an assist? He's got 13. So yeah, I mean, I'm not slam dunking it, but I am. If it keeps going in this direction. How about this game? So Roberto, I was watching some of it back. There, through the 23rd minute, there were no goals. So there were 8 goals in 67 minutes. The last 67 minutes of the game, they had 8 goals.
And that game was played in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Because Inter Miami can't win at home. 3 ties and a loss in 4 games in their new stadium.
Hey, applause for Sporting KC. All right.
All right.
LA Galaxy 3-1. Feeling sorry for Greg Vanny in a way, because I don't know what's going on with the Galaxy. It's hard to say. And we got Justin Hack out there who we like. So I don't know what's going on. But I just wanted to bring up that Taylor Calhera, the former NYCFC 2 player that David Lee signed, got his first start, played 62 minutes, played well. But I looked at his heat map. Check this out, Roberto. This dude doesn't just stand in one place.
No. Wow.
Look at that.
That's
now,
pretty cool.
45 touches. So he was playing forward, and he came back to help, obviously, defensively. He was on both sides of the pitch. And,
Do Nico Fernandez.
Yeah. Well, I don't have him up, but he's a good one, too. Maybe I can.
Oh, my God. He's everywhere. He is everywhere. It's amazing. I mean, follow him. Like, I've seen, you start looking to see where he goes. He goes all the way, gets the ball from Matt Freese right in front of the box, sends it a little bit wide, and within 3 seconds, he's already, the number one guy up front. It's crazy how much field he covers. Yeah, it's amazing.
I love when he's underneath the wingers, meaning, in support of them. And then he has the option to either, if they need him, they can just drop a little pass back to him, or he overlaps. But he's out, like you said, he's out. How are you out there, man? It's like
he's a brilliant signing. Okay.
Yeah.
He's one of the best signings in the history of the club.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
I do not disagree with that.
Because I was like, you better not disagree, because I'm dying on that hill.
I don't know if you'll disagree or agree with me here. And I'm going to point to the Eastern Conference of Major League Soccer. That's where we've seen most. And so there was this record for the amount of goals scored on Wednesday night. Obviously, New York City and Charlotte didn't contribute very much to that with their 1-0 game. So there were a record number of goals scored in a single day in MLS history. Okay, so, I mean, every game was 3-3, 5, whatever. 10. This would all be in caps. 10 of the 15 teams in the Eastern Conference have a negative goal differential, including the opponent this weekend for New York City, Red Bull. They're -8. Now, New York City +4, so it's not like they're kicking arse. But Matty Lawrence, we have some fun with this. He said if he were the commissioner, his rule would be you cannot go to the postseason if you have a negative goal differential. But what it points to, and I don't have this clip with Pascal, but I ended the interview with this particular statistic, and we talked about the defensive frailties in MLS in general. And I'm telling you, look, there's some very good goals among those 48, I think, that were scored on the night. But the defensive errors and just miscues, and it's borderline embarrassing that because it's defending 101. And as a coach, which I do more broadcasting than coaching now, but as someone who's taught the game for a long time, I think I can safely say that. And to use one of Matty Lawrence's words, shambolic defines the defending in the Eastern Conference this year for the most part, And I think it's really troublesome. And then I had a conversation. So what do you think of this, Roberto? And I can't remember, we've talked about this. It was with Danny Higginbotham, and he was a defender in the Premier League, a left back. His thought, and I agree with him, at least to a point, is that you've got to spend money on a designated player at the back, in the back line, rather than always the attacking players. And until that happens in MLS, this is the way the games are going to go. Maybe they're exciting for people. I don't know. I just get crazed because the defending is so poor at times.
Well, New York City was one of those teams because
I know.
But the other team that did it, who was it? Toronto? Yeah, they brought in a Mexican player. I can't remember who it was now, but he was horrific. He was horrible. Doesn't always work out. I can't remember the name of the player. Maybe somebody, John will remember for sure.
Here's another
example.
There
was a Mexican player who was terrible there.
Okay,
they got rid of him in a year.
So here's, and I know you're an MLS All-Star voter. I don't know if you did it yet, but I already did mine. And when I got to and you pick 4 backs, 2 center backs and 2 full backs. When I got to the center backs and I opened that up, I mean, I spent about 45 minutes trying to figure out because, Thiago Martins look, Thiago, I love you. But I'm talking all-star, best player in North America. That's what we're talking, right? Mm-hmm. The best center back in North America. It was a struggle. And this is what I mean. And this is when it kind of hit me. And then I talked to Higginbotham and we start talking about this. And it was like, so, that's it. It's spend more money on backs. And until you do, this is the way the games are going to go. And if that's the way, they want it, then, if I were running a club, I would have a more secure back line financially. I just would.
I mean, we've spoken about this, right? I mean, teams have invested heavily going forward as opposed to defending. And when they finally signed Thiago Martins, who's been worth pretty much every penny they've spent on him, then, I think that was a very good signing. Continues to be a very good signing. And we've seen it the days that he's not playing, the chaos that happens in New York City's defense. And, based on some of the conversations that we've had and some of the analysis that we've had about, where their errors lie on defense. No, that wasn't him. I don't think it was Carlos Salcedo. I don't think it was Salcedo. Maybe it was.
Look,
maybe it was. I don't know.
So Thiago Martins is.
I can never doubt John. I'll doubt myself.
Thiago Martins. Look, let me interject here. So you think Thiago Martins is a $2.3 million player? I'm asking you, and anybody that can get whatever they can get, and he's been valuable. And you're right. When he's not there, it's very difficult for New York City. He's Superman back there covering for everybody. I recognize all that. So, but is he a $2.3 million player? I don't know. When you look at
here's what I will tell you: if he's 2.3 or 5 or 850,000, okay, all of those numbers are designated player numbers, all of them. So as far as the salary cap is concerned, he only counts 814,000. I think that's the number.
Something like that.
So everything else is on New York City FC, paying him personally. Yep. So it doesn't matter. So yes, is he worth it? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Okay. I recognize it doesn't count against the budget cap. I think it's 850 this year. Because I know
it went up. I
just opened it up not long ago. Yeah, and this if this gets taken as an insult to him, then people are looking at this the wrong way. I'm talking about looking at all the different salaries and everything else along the landscape. So I'm happy and very happy with 3 varies that he's part of this program, and he's the captain of the team. And his insertion is always valuable. And boy, he has his pace. He's got it back, and there hasn't been one player that he hasn't been able to track down. There's some quick players in MLS. So I think that's been fantastic. Okay, so
I just want to confirm something here.
Okay,
the maximum salary budget charge for a designated player, it's above 803,125.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. What else do I have here that I wanted to get to? Oh, today the American Museum of Natural History opened up a program called For the Win: Objects of Sports Excellence. And you know what's in there? The MLS Cup from 2021.
Yes, it is.
So how cool is that? So they're recognizing New York City FC. There's a bunch of other stuff in there too, but I thought that was.
I have to go take a look at that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I am.
KP has a question for you. We know the answer, but
Oh, what? I can't. Who is our fastest player? It is Ojeda.
no, that's the thing, is that it's not. It's still Thiago Martins. The funny thing is that Ojeda in the first maybe 20 yards might be faster, but when they get to 40, he's been passed.
That's not the speed that they calculate in MLS. It's top speed, and Ojeda's top speed is a little bit more than Thiago Martins. I've seen the figures, but you're right. If you go to 40 to 50 to 60, it changes a little bit. And I think we've seen that happen to Ojeda on balls that are played behind. Not that Martins is chasing him down, but other players as well. So here, listen to this. But I can't remember if I told you this or Maddie. So forgive me if I've said this before. But Jesse Marsh did a webinar recently, and he said that 9 players on the Canadian national team or in their pool have a top speed of over 23 miles per hour. Like one of the fastest players in MLS is Agustin Ojeda at 22. Can you imagine what he has there? I don't know how many of those are the injured players because they have a bit of an injury crisis there. But that made me think of he was on this webinar last week. I tuned in. It was really I should share some of the things from it because he was really open about everything going on in Canada and what his process. But he changed the style because he had athletes like that. So he said, "Why not? Why don't we play more dynamic?" Because we got these kind of players. So anyway,
but for that to work, obviously, defenses have to play a high line or have to be risky because you can't throw balls over the top when you got 11 guys sitting behind the ball. It's very hard.
Now, a couple of the World Cup things, Roberto, before we cruise. So I don't know if you go on if anybody on social media, you have to go find the France roster announcement on social media. It's just very cool. So they announced their 26 yesterday. New York City, the U.S. men will do it on May the 26th, which is coming up. What's today? That's in 11 days. And they're going to do that in New York City. Mexico announced their provisional 55, Roberto, and there's a lot of American eligible or were American eligible type players on that list, including our own Richie Ledesma, who you've tracked quite closely, and a guy that's playing this weekend, Jorge Rubalcaba.
Yep.
What's the five?
Rubalcaba, he switched. All of them switched. All 5 of them. That are on the Mexican preliminary roster are players that at one point or another represented the United States, either youth or senior. And the funny thing is that Chivas has 3 of them. Remember when Chivas used to be Mexican only? Yeah, they've widened that, and now it's worked out for them because Ledesma has been fantastic. So is the kid who used to be with the Galaxy. Why am I blanking?
It's there. First of all, I have 6. You had 5. I have 6. See if this is right. Brian Gutierrez, Julian Araujo, Efrain Alvarez, Obed Vargas, Richie Ledesma, and Jorge Rubalcaba, who I really like. And he started. Yeah. He's got 4 goals in his last 7 games. So and those are his only 4 goals for Red Bull on the left wing. So Tavon Gray. Another assignment there to watch. Those are always enjoyable little duels and battle. Tavon Gray against anybody, but when it's somebody who's producing for the opponent, like Zaha, again, he pretty much shut down Zaha again for sure.
Yeah, he really did. Remember what he said it? I got him in my pocket. He sure did. And by the way, Zaha was not picked for the national team.
Oh, well,
they announced that they announced the list, and he's not on it.
Well, you got to be playing better for your club. Apparently, that's got to be part of it.
I guess if you don't beat Tavon Gray, you're not going.
Oh, I see. You could have just said this. You didn't have to go private with it. Yeah, I forgot to play the Mercal goal that you. Let's close with that. Let's just go here, and then we'll close with that as a high note.
Before we do that, the one thing I wanted to say about. I don't know if this is correct or not. I have Rubalcaba as a designated player for the Red Bulls. Is that accurate? The information I have is that he's a DP, and I'm not sure.
My studying is not complete. So
Neither is mine. That's why. And
I'm not.
I haven't double checked it, and I sort of like caught me off. It caught me surprised. But here's Misael. Yep, he's a DP. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Misael.
Check this out. I don't know if you've seen this, Roberto. So now all the different cities are starting to like describe their viewing parties a little bit more thoroughly. No one's going to top this one. This is Seattle. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? A floating stage. So Roberto, not only is it a viewing venue for World Cup games, it's also a small-sided pitch when all the people aren't there. So they're going to play. There's going to play some footy. When there aren't like everybody standing on the field watching the game.
And what about the Zoran Mandami closing streets in front of 50 schools so kids can play soccer and designated them soccer zones? That's very cool.
That is the best. Finally get a soccer guy in the mayoralship. That's good, man.
I mean, it's a shame he's an Arsenal fan, but I mean, he can't be perfect. So
that's right. And New York Transit. I don't know all the different who's who, but from $80 to $20 to get to MetLife Stadium. I don't know where the three locales are, but the governor of New York there's three places.
Port Authority and Grand Central are two of them. I forgot where the third one. It might be Rockefeller Center, but I'm not sure. There's a third one. And this is something that Governor Kathy Hochul with whoever owns all these school buses. These are going to be yellow school buses. And
you know where they got I don't know if I report on this. You know where they got that idea? I bet the Scottish supporters group in the Boston area, they rented the 21 available yellow school buses, and they're renting them on their own. So the government's not involved. They're renting them on their own, and they're saving everybody about $60 to get to the stadium to ride in the yellow school buses.
Meanwhile, the train went down.
98.
It's $98 now. Started at $150. Now it's $98. But now I'll take the $20 bus.
Down to 98, so we're below 100 there's enough sponsors to be paid.
That's a fair price. A $20 bus, I don't have a problem with. Everything else I have major problems with. Not a $20 bus.
I have a major problem, and this is going to be, if I'm like the old guy on the block here, the way they're doing the World Cup final, this halftime show, forget about it. I mean, so here, I've told you this too about the Super Bowl. I hate the Super Bowl halftime too. And the reason it is because there's a prescribed amount of time that players are normally in a rhythm to have between the end of the first half and the start of the second half. And to screw with the sporting side of the World Cup final, I think is blasphemous. I despise it. I will not put anything out about it. I'm going to be at the game. Fortunately, I feel very privileged. I'm going to be there, and I will shut down and go, have some ice cream or something while Shakira and Madonna and everybody else performs. They can have a great time, huh?
Coldplay.
They've got some good people there, but they're extending.
They did this last year at the final. It's the exact same thing that they did last year at the final of the World Club Cup.
The Club World Cup? Oh, okay.
Or that one, right.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that. It was too hot. I couldn't see that anyway, man. Maybe
it's the same thing. It's going to be, and by the way, get used to it. It ain't changing.
So
once they did it, it ain't changing.
So we've got 3-minute hydration breaks, even when they're not necessary, so that
indoors
that more ads can be sold. And we have so we have 4 quarters of international soccer on the biggest stage, the most important event in our global game, and we're going to have a Shakira halftime show.
Well, I don't mind that it's Shakira, honestly. I mean, if you're going to have a halftime show, you're going to put Shakira there. I'm in. Coldplay too. Madonna is, Madonna.
Now the other thing I read, this I don't know where I read this, but El Nino, is coming. I don't know if you follow the weather, and I know what El Nino is sort of, but I didn't know what kind of impact it would have. So El Nino is expected to arrive this summer, which is going to make these Kansas cities of our world even hotter, according to meteorologists. This is going to be a very interesting summer of World Cup. So I hope it doesn't negatively impact, either the supporters and the spectators who are paying so much money. Is it going to be that uncomfortable? And then especially for the players, so they're at their best.
Yeah, well, summer heat definitely detracts from the attractiveness of the game, because you just can't perform at peak levels when, the temperature is what it is.
Yeah, I know. Well, it affected the Club World Cup games because.
And by the way, the Americanization, this wasn't an American idea. Well, I mean, they took it. This is Gianni Infantino. So, it might be an American idea that we've done this with the NFL, but this is all Gianni Infantino. This wasn't U.S. soccer imposing this or anything else. So, as far as that's concerned, it's the Italianization of the game in this case.
Roberto, I don't know where this is at right now, and this will be the last one before we play your Nico Fernandez Marcao goal call, which is very exciting. I love these kind of stories. So we're going to call it Spygate. So this is
I saw this.
This is someone from Southampton taking, it looks like pictures, but it could be video on a camera of a Middlesbrough training session. And apparently the Middlesbrough where they train is pretty much an open area. And so there's an investigation right now because they were playing a promotion relegation playoff little battle, which Middlesbrough had to win. I believe it ended in a draw, or they lost 2-1, and then they're out. So Southampton advanced, and now they're looking back to see if anything that we've heard of the drones overhead. That's something that's a little bit more frequent. But a guy standing by a tree with a camera. That's the best. That might be the best thing I've ever seen.
And he's like trying to hide, like behind. Yeah, it's not happening.
All right, Roberto, your call disappeared. I'll find it. I've got to pick it back up here, and I'm not sure how. Oh, I think I know how to do it. Hold on. There we go. All right. Are we ready?
Let's go.
Hold on.
Maxi Morales sobre el esférico. Tiene Cavallo por la izquierda. Él está más hacia ese lado. Avanza, cruza la media cancha, quiere enviar el balón, lo tiene para Ojeda, se mete en el área, hace el recorte, Hannes Wolf, abre para Mercado, hace la finta, tira de zurda, ¡gol! ¡Gol de New York City! El balón se fue por abajo de Kalina, que tiene mucha responsabilidad en este gol. 9º gol de la temporada para Nicolás Fernández Mercado. 1-0 New York City, minuto 9.
Yeah, Kalina. It was immediately obvious that Kalina contributed to this. And I didn't need a replay to say, ooh, what the hell? No, it was like immediate. It was like, what the hell?
I thought he might have gotten megged, and then Maddie quickly corrected me that it went under his right under his arm, and see the replay, then you could tell. But at the live call, I didn't say Meg, but I didn't know how I got through him. I was dumbfounded, as we all were. How did that happen? And
he just dove awkwardly, and he basically made a bridge on the ball and it went under his arm. It was weird.
And he wasn't shielded by anything because Mercado beat the Schnegg cleanly. And so it was just sitting there looking at it.
By the way, now that you mentioned Schnegg, after that goal, right, he was pissed the rest of the night. He was on a mission. Yeah. That was a pretty crazy battle on that side, and especially him and Tavon. And Tavon loves this stuff.
Yeah.
And Tavon,
yeah.
Tavon's egging him on, and they're pushing and they're shoving, and Tavon, and he's got this grin on. And it's just like, yeah, this is my type of soccer. Misael has a good question for you.
Well, I'm looking to see because I thought Schnegg might have. Hold on a second. I think I've got the wrong game up here. No, Schnegg did not get a yellow card. He did not get one of the 9 yellow cards at all. But this is the guy who had the best night defensively he's had since now in his 4th start for New York City is Nico Cavallo. So those are my thoughts, is that this young man knows how to get forward. He's got a natural left peg. The ball he played on the deck for Fernandez Murkow that led to Hannes Wolf's 2nd goal against Columbus was so clever, so good. So I wondered at first if Cavallo, I think when he first stepped on for the injured O'Toole this year, he didn't look ready, like completely ready, but he's grown into it. And through training and through playing games, this is what happens. So I think what we have here, Roberto, might be a young man who needed some time, and maybe very much like Kevin O'Toole, he rises to the occasion and plays to the level he needs. And that's what happened with O'Toole to help make him a regular. And now we're not sure what the deal is with O'Toole and how long he's going to be out, but Cavallo now is the man.
He is, and he's played well. It was his best defensive game that I've seen him play for New York City. Obviously, the sample is small. He only got beat once on the dribble, and that was pretty much it. And obviously, New York City was able to take care of that. So it's good to see. And yes, offensively, he can go forward, and he's got some skill. So it's good to see another good, pick for them, from the Super Draft that's worked out for New York City from UCLA.
And I don't know if you noted, I don't remember exactly the moment, but he had to recover. And I didn't know about, I just can't remember ever understanding what his pace really was. But on this occasion, he got goal side of an attacking player. And I think it might have even been Vargas. And it was like, whoa, he can run too. So if he's got the pace to recover like that, and he just needs to continue to work on his defending and the organization of it, because there was also a chance, I believe it was even in the Red Bull game, but that was like his first start for O'Toole, where he zonally at the back, he was just kind of lost a bit for the moment, and they got a clean header on goal, which went right at Freeze. And there is a Freeze question here, or comment, or something. Thoughts on Matt Freeze? Matt Turner arguments for U.S. men. Abundantly clear it should be Freeze. I feel like people are assuming the goals conceded have been his fault. I don't think Freeze is in any trouble, to be honest with you.
No, and Matt Turner with a worldly against Nashville.
Yeah,
did you
crazy.
see the first goal?
Yeah, it was crazy. And I, in all honesty, I meant to clip it, and I didn't because I thought it was one to show the New York City audience, which is a majority of our viewers here, our New York City. And because if they hadn't seen it, they would enjoy seeing Matt Turner. I don't enjoy anybody that has a moment like that. His foot somehow got stuck.
Neither do
Yeah,
I.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think that there was any doubt that Matt Freese is going to be number one. He's been very solid. I can't remember a goal that New York City conceded where you say, "Oh, Jesus, Matt." There's no Kalina moments. So
yeah, no, you're right. And I think I described this last week. Is he had one moment in that stretch of 7 games, and it was when against DC United there was a ball played over the top, and he came out of the area, and it was very awkward, and it ended up deflecting off his leg. Fortunately, because his arms were extended. So that would have been a disaster. But he came out and he got it off his leg, and it went out for a throw. Yeah. Well, that's the throw in where Parks, I forget who he fouled, but it led to the penalty, and then it was 2-0, and there it goes. And there's
nobody that's on the potential roster for the U.S. national team are very good with their feet. None of them are. And so you're not going to play like Pep Guardiola wants to play, per se. Where the goalie's got to be very good, although he's having trouble with Donnarumma with that stuff too. So, they got to make sure he stops shots. That's your job.
Yep.
Stop shots. I don't care about the rest.
Yep. That is your first responsibility. All right, Roberto. Well, it's been a fun night. We have a broadcast tomorrow. We got some studying to do. I'm in decent shape, but not knowing who the DP was up front for the Red Bulls, I'll take another swipe at studying their team. But anyway, so we've got Maddie and I will be on at 6:30 with NYCFC pregame live, and then Roberto on the Spanish side, myself on the English, with our partners Ariel Hudas for Roberto, Maddie Lawrence for me, at 7:15 with a pregame show ahead of the live commentary on the radio, which begins at 7:40 p.m. and
Yes.
following a 7:25 kickoff. So who knows? You never quite know when it's going to be kickoff.
Hey, and everybody who's here watching, if you can please like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and get the alerts for this, because sometimes we put this together really quickly and we say, "Oh, we're going tonight." So do that.
So who gets the rights to the movie? So listen, Misael the drummer, 69. I like the tag, but listen, if anybody ever for a moment can think of anyone that might want us to talk about their restaurant or their bar or anything, we'll do it. We'll do it for a free meal.
No, I went to in Poughkeepsie. There's a great Mexican restaurant that I've been following on Instagram, and I was like, "What a good restaurant in Poughkeepsie! That's crazy." So my son goes to school in Maris, so I'm up there pretty often. So I went. It's called Tortilleria Allison. Oh my God, the place is nothing to look at. The food is off the charts. It's brilliant. So if anybody is passing near Poughkeepsie, go look for Tortilleria Allison. It's absolutely worth it.
Is this the place you mentioned last week? You should get some sort of a kickback here.
No, I don't need a kickback. I do this for free.
Okay.
I don't need a kickback. It's okay. I can give without needing to receive. I don't keep score. Not on that.
Man, you start talking about restaurants in Poughkeepsie. I might be talking about Corvallis, Oregon next. I've got a place out there I really like.
Fine. I mean, if there's somebody there, let them go see it. Helps the restaurant. It's a good thing. Pay it forward, Glenn. We've been very lucky in our lives. We've been very, very lucky. It's fun. It's okay. It's good to pay it forward, not expect anything in return. We need more things like that.
Notice anything in this picture that seems slightly odd? This is a MLS promo, which was just released a couple of days ago. That the first time I saw it anyway. James Rodriguez on the right. He's no longer in the league.
Yeah, he is.
That was short-lived. But we got our boy Matty Freeze with the American flag. So very nice. And
son, Richie Lorea.
Yep.
Who's really, I love Richie Lorea. I've got to say, I love Richie Lorea. He's such a good player.
Fun one to watch. All right, guys. That's it for us. We're live every week. Sometimes the days change. We try to do it on a day where we're up at training, so we get a feel for that. That was the case today. Game tomorrow. Awesome. For Roberto, I'm Glenn. Thanks for joining us here, and I hope you're listening to us tomorrow. Have a good night.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast NYCFC Views on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.